Most medical spas are losing between $800 and over $1,200 a week in cancellation revenue that they could be recovering. And the only reason that they're not recovering is that there's no one that's asking one specific question at the right moment. And most medical spas recover 0% because they never ever ask why people are leaving. Because when someone calls to cancel their Botox appointment, your front desk is only saying, of course, no problem, would you like to reschedule? And the client just says, I'll call you back. And that's the worst thing you can ever hear from someone, because they will never ever call you back. And that's $400 to $800 just walking out of the door. But let me show you exactly what you're supposed to be doing and what kind of questions you're supposed to be asking and what to say when clients say no. This is the exact same recovery system that we build for every single medical spa account, and it recovers 30 to 40% of cancellation that would otherwise be lost forever. Now let's go right here. When a client cancels, there's a 30-second window when they do cancel. You're supposed to be asking questions right here. This is my attempt at a star. The best possible place, right here. The circle is much better. Because when you don't ask the questions of why they are going to cancel, they hang up immediately and they're gone forever. Now, I've heard this many times where people are saying, oh, it's so pushy to ask them questions. Listen, you've already lost them at the end of the day. You might as well go out with something before they leave, and there's a chance that you might be able to recover them. Most of the time, front desks are saying, no problem, call us when you're ready. This is a really bad color, but we'll deal with it. No problem, call us when you're busy. And as a result, you lose 20 cancellations, or you have 20 cancellations. There are 0 recovery attempts, and there's only 3 to 4 people that actually rebook naturally, but you lose 16 to 17 people, simply because you're not asking a question of why people are leaving. And as a result, $7,200 to $7,600 lost in revenue if appointment value is above, $450. Maybe they're getting Botox, derma, etc. Now let's go over here. When you ask the question of whether it's timing or something, there's over 20 cancellations, 20 recovery attempts. Now you're actually recovering of why they're going to leave. And as a result, 7 to 8 of them come back the same week, and over 35% of them. And as a result, 3 to 4 people also come in naturally, just simply because of them wanting to come back to your medical spa and you following up with them during the recovery attempt. Now you're only losing 9 to 10 leads. And as a result, $4,000 to $4,500 lost, compared to the average of $7,200 lost to $7,600 lost. You saved over $3,100 a month just by simply asking the question, and over $37,000 a year with the same cancellation, but with a different behavior attached to it. Now here's what you're supposed to be doing. Here's a 3-part recovery system. Number 1, you ask whether it's timing or something else. Because here's the thing, people don't leave your medical spa simply because they hate you. Because if they did hate you, they're not just going to call you. They're going to make sure they don't show up to your appointment. They're not going to let you know that, hey, I won't be showing up. They're going to also make sure to tell other people not to come on social media, or telling other people, hey, this medical spa is really, really nasty, etc. If they're calling you to cancel, it usually is because of timing, because something came up within their life that they have to deal with. Either maybe their boss called them in for an appointment, or a meeting, or they have to attend to their kids, maybe pick up food for dinner, etc. So they can't make it to your appointment. So all you have to do is ask whether it's timing or something else. And this also makes you seem like you're more perceptive and you care more about their result and why they actually are leaving, and you're not just there for their money. Number 2, if they give a valid reason, or they don't say something along the lines of, I hate you and I never want to come back, you then offer them a time and a different time to come back in to the clinic. Either offering them Wednesday at 11 a.m. or Friday to 3 p.m. These are adjustable based on what's actually available, but these are examples of what you can say. Saying something like, all right, that's cool. We have Wednesday at 11 a.m. or Friday at 3 p.m. And you just offer them a time slot. Very important, you must offer them time slots. Do not let them choose when to come in, because when people are given choices of what they want to go for, they come up with paralysis, and as a result, they don't actually do anything. But when you give people fixed options of what to do, they finally make a decision. It's like giving a child 2 options. Either you can turn off your Nintendo Switch at 9:30 p.m. to go to bed, or you can turn it off at 10 p.m. And as a result, they're going to pick one of the options. But if you just say, what time do you want to turn off your Nintendo Switch, they're going to pick midnight. So give them options of what is suitable for you. You must be seen as the authority. Finally, lock the appointment in, and by saying that you can lock in next week with $50. And as a result, with this, you show the commitment that needs to happen when they're coming to the medical spa. And as a result, you also eliminate people who flake. But most people won't flake because they're already in the process of the sales. They don't want to waste the time that they've already have, so they're going to lock it in with a deposit at your medical spa. And as a result, when you have no system, only 10 to 15% of people come in. However, when you have a deposit, 25 to 30% of people come in. And when you couple that in with same week coming back in with the deposit, over 40% of medical spa patients can come back to your medical spa compared to the 10% that you had earlier. So if you're still losing some cancellation, you're never going to recover 100%. That's not possible. But if you're recovering an extra $3,000 to $3,500 a month that you weren't recovering before, that's always an upside. You need to remember that. And over a year, that's going to go up to $3,600 in revenue, $36,000 in revenue, to over $42,000 in revenue every single year, simply by asking these 3 questions. And here's the best part. There is no required new ad spend. You don't need to be spending money on ads and giving your money to Mark Zuckerberg. All you need to do is just ask questions to your clients who did not come to your clinic. So if you want to implement this as a full system for your medical spa rather than just understanding how it works, the link to book is in the description below. And if you found this video helpful, give it a like, give it a subscribe, share the video with a friend, whatever. And I'll see you later. Bye.